Good morning, friends. I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough of the garden this morning. Have my two gardening partners out here, Maggie and Molly. We're going to start here by the gate. The salad bowl is looking pretty overgrown. We've been harvesting lettuce every day. The Buttercrisp and the romaine has been awesome. I've been letting some of the radish and the lettuce go to seed. That's why we have this big towering head of lettuce here. It's about to bloom. And when it starts to bloom, I'll put a little fabric bag over the top so I can catch the seeds. Same with the radishes. There's a perfect example. I've been pruning tomatoes this morning so you can see all the casualties of the tomato prunes. Strawberry bed looks great. It's filling in nicely. There's our first row of tomatoes. These are heirlooms. Something ate or broke off part of my rosemary, so it's looking pretty pathetic. The lemon balm is starting to bush out. I've been pruning it back. Same with the mint. I'll actually start dehydrating mint for tea this week. Thai basil, it's looking great. I have some Malabar spinach that seeded itself from last year. I will just leave it. Oregano is starting to spread out. Get the weed out. The sage, variegated sage, it smells so good. Wish we had smell-o-vision. Holy basil, also known as tule. Smells so good, guys. And our chamomile. I've been pinching the blooms off, but I left this one cute little baby bloom just so you can see what it looks like. Over here I planted some bunching onions. They haven't started coming up yet. As you can see, I've got some serious watergrass issues right there around my lemon basil. I'll be pulling that out today. The potatoes are growing and they're starting to bloom. As you can see, they're sort of starting to fall apart already. And they will eventually start dying back when they get completely dry and yellow. Not necessarily dry, but just yellow, and they collapse. That's when we will start looking to dig potatoes. And the broccoli, which I will probably pull out in the next week or so, it is continuing to make broccoli, but I harvested all of it. I got about a 4-gallon bucket full of broccoli heads. There's our lemon basil. The cucumbers are going crazy, and they are blooming. See if I can find a little baby cucumber somewhere. They've really got a ton of blooms on them. I'll be making lots of pickles again. There's one itty bitty tiny baby cucumber. So cute. These are the Brussels sprouts. They're not making yet. They need to grow much, much taller. This is the Crimson Sweet watermelon. And we have little baby watermelons too. More weeds. That's what grows best, right? More heirlooms. There's a cat face bloom. That's just a double bloom. It'll make a double tomato. They look so cool. But some people like to pick them off. I leave them. So the peppers, the things that I planted in my tubs, just are not impressing me. I don't know if it's the dirt. I have read that the brand of organic dirt, which I will not mention, has had some struggles this year. There's a lot of posts on Facebook about it. So I've been fertilizing a lot. The eggplants are blooming, but the growth is stunted. They're not tall at all. Those plants are only about maybe 10 inches tall, and they should be much bigger. They're not going to be able to support their fruit. I've been picking off blooms. Some of them I missed. There's a little baby green pepper. Have Anaheims here. You can see they are growing peppers, but the plants are just stunted. The habaneros look good. The squash, yesterday had a squash emergency with squash bugs or stink bugs, whatever you want to call them. They're two different bugs, but they all answer to the same name around here. There's some more eggs. So last night I treated the plants with an organic insecticide that's specific to stink bugs. When I sprayed the plants, I took a red Solo cup and put it over the blooms so I would not hurt the pollinators. It says it's safe, but you never know. I also had to treat for cabbage worms. As you can see, the beets are coming up nicely though. Dante's Inferno, it's going good. Our blackberries are growing. I think I actually have one that's almost ripe. The zucchini, as you can see, the baby zucchinis. Now that zucchini baby, let's see if I can get it on camera. You can see that the zucchini started to grow and then it just shriveled up. That is lack of fertilization. So that's why it's really important to either self-pollinate the rest of the cabbage row or trim back your bigger leaves that are crossing. So as you can see, these leaves are not crossing. When I say crossing, you'll have leaves that come out and they'll cross like this. And then the blooms can't be seen by the pollinators, so they won't pollinate. More spindly, pitiful peppers. So sad. Some more zucchini. I've pruned this back pretty harshly because it was just looking sick and fertilized, and now it's covered in blooms, so hopefully it's going to catch up. Lots of beets. They look really good. Beet greens are great if you haven't tried them. There's a really pretty cabbage. My toolbox. Basil. These are the pole beans. Kentucky Blues. They've already grown to the top of the cattle panels. They look so good. Now, pole beans are later to bloom than bush beans. If you have bush beans, you may already be seeing blooms on them. I know my grandma and grandpa used to pick them by Memorial Day usually. But the pole beans do bloom later. They will bloom and produce beans right up to frost. That's a black cherry tomato. More tomato cuttings. But you can see where I have pruned the bottoms about 8 inches up. Nothing is touching the ground. That's really important. It's also important to mulch around the base of your tomatoes. That prevents fungus from splashback from the rain, or if you're not watering with a soaker hose. Last year in this spot I had tomatillos, and they were prolific. And I have some volunteer tomatillos coming up all over. Several volunteer tomatoes too. There's one right there growing with our cantaloupe. This is the cantaloupe. It's a Hales cantaloupe. The pollinator garden's looking good. Zinnias are about to start blooming. It's going to be so, so pretty. Oh, look. There's my first zinnia that's bloomed this year. It's so pretty. So, so pretty. The 4 o'clocks are filling in nicely. I don't know if you've ever seen a 4 o'clock, but it's vining. It's going to grow up this cattle panel. And they call them 4 o'clocks because they bloom every day at 4 o'clock. And then the blooms close. And they stay closed all day until 4 o'clock. This is the Supersonics. I have pruned them a lot. They have lots of fruit on them. And some of these Supersonics, they are kind of stunted too. And the person that I bought them from used the same soil that I used to fill my tubs. So I really think that that is a problem with the soil. It's been contaminated somehow, which is concerning because I grow naturally or organically. I can't really say organically because I'm not certified, but I grow naturally. Here are the sugar babies, watermelon, and here's some baby watermelons. Aren't they cute? So cute. This is another row of heirloom tomatoes, and they look so good. Can you tell the difference here between this tomato and this one? These are Cherokee purples. And actually, if you can look close, I don't know if it'll show it on camera, but the leaves have a purple tinge to them at the veins. But they have a traditional shaped leaf for tomato. This is a Brandywine. Brandywines have potato leaf shaped. So if you go back and look at the potatoes, you'll see that the Brandywines are part of the potato leaf tomato variety. And we have lots and lots of cat-facing blooms. Big, big blooms. Brandywines are known for the cat-facing on their blooms. And you can see that I have trimmed them quite aggressively. I'm just going to give them a shake. For pollination. I know I've said it before, tomatoes are self-pollinating, which is great. If you don't have a lot of pollinators, I live surrounded by core ground and mostly woods, and there just are not a lot of pollinators here. The basils and marigolds, which are the companion plants for tomatoes, I think they're doing great because I am not seeing tomato pests yet, knock on wood. More green beans. My tangle of hoses. And cilantro. Cilantro, the bane of my existence. It bolts so fast. So I'm out here every day pinching it back to keep it from bolting. My cousin grows beautiful cilantro and mint every year. I envy her. But mine will usually bolt and die very quickly. I've got this off by itself this year as an experiment. And that's pretty much what gardening is, guys. It's just one big experiment, year after year. And you just try something that works, keep it. If it doesn't work, try something different. So here we are, our big garden tour for the week. Good luck, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Love you guys. Happy gardening.